Hi, I'm Stu, and welcome to my channel. I'm a live looping composer, improviser. I don't really know what to call myself. I close my eyes and music comes out of my fingers, and it surprises me most of the time because I have no idea where it comes from. The moment I try and think about the music dies. So um, I feel a bit of a fraud, to be quite honest. I used to be a professional violinist. I started playing the violin at the age of 6 to try and cure some ADHD traits that I had in primary school. It didn't cure those traits or treat those really, but it gave me a foundation. It was something that I naturally became, I was just seemed to be naturally good at. I could put the violin under my chin and improvise from a very, very early age. Um, Parents tried to force me into a computing career. I resisted and became a musical bum, and yeah, became a touring musician for quite a lot of it. Played with various bands. It was good fun, good lifestyle. The happiest I've ever been was when I was involved with a solo project of mine in Paris called the Solo String Project, which was live looped violin. And that project was born out of necessity. I ended up finishing a long, tortuous contract in Scandinavia, 13-month non-ending contract, and ended up falling in love, moving to Paris, and then finding out that work in Paris is really, really, really difficult. It's very hard to find paid music work. So to fend off basically losing all my money, I sold all my gigging gear and bought a busking rig, a DL4 live looping pedal, a crate taxi amplifier, and I went straight from the music shop in Pigalle to Place des Vosges in Paris, a beautiful, beautiful place with archways. Yeah, the acoustics in there were amazing. And I basically learnt how to live loop using the pedal there, creating music, and it became quite successful. Towards the end of the project, during Paris Plage 2002, I mean, there was one weekend where, I earned a few €1,000 by, just doing this. It was great. Um, yeah, I became ill in about 2005 and had to give up gigging, playing completely. I actually last picked up a violin in 2006. I'm labelled with chronic fatigue syndrome. Symptom-wise, it's very much like relapse-remitting multiple sclerosis, but I'm getting fewer of the remissions. I'm just constantly relapsing all the time, and it's quite a struggle to exist. I mean, this is me now, if you ever see me outside, which I only ever leave the flat once a week, really, for about 30 minutes to an hour to go to the supermarket. I don't get visitors, I don't have a social life. I've not actually been out of my town centre since I moved here over 8.5 years ago. So yeah, it's a different life. And it gets quite depressing, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, so I've created this rig. It's mostly centered around this instrument and the RC505 looper. The instrument is great. I mean, it allows me to play the violin again. I'm using the audio modeling, the Swan violin, cello, and the double reed libraries on the instruments. And just to give you an idea, I mean, and I've only ever played the cello a few times, and violinists will appreciate that the transition between violin and cello is difficult, and so to be able to play a cello. And whatever I play through these instruments here, I can seamlessly loop using the RC505. And my music is designed so that everything is really centered around the Genesis loop. And I often like doing simple drones or just a simple repetitive beat like. And then every other track on the looper is sequenced to that, as well as the Simpson Deluge, but I'll come to that in a second. So for example, and everything's all synchronized, and there's so much you can do with this. I mean, My most successful loops are when I have a completely blank canvas in the head and I just start with the first note, which is normally a green or a blue. I normally lock myself around those, and that's the only real conscious planning I have when I go into the loops. Um, Sorry, I've got a bit of a brain freeze. Let me just chronic fatigue syndrome. Yeah, so on the instruments I've got violin, cello, oboe, cor anglais or English horn, I think they call it now, and bassoon. On the 61 key keyboard, I have Steinway piano, I believe, on the first one. This is still loaded up from last night. Okay, it's got a bass, electric piano on the second, and then a harp, I think. And once you start, putting all of these together, it just creates magical music. And I'm only just scratching the surface. I actually started building this rig on 420, which, being a medicinal cannabis user, is quite meaningful. I was in a very, very bad depressive cycle, getting to kind of like dangerous levels. And this kind of saved me, I think. It's nice. My brain's on. I'm gonna maybe stop for a bit. Okay, connected to the RC505 as well is this little talk box, which allows me to sing in tune. I haven't set up the settings properly, so I might distort. Yes, I'm still like mucking around with that. It's quite a little temperamental unit, but so I've got like a string orchestra, a chamber orchestra, piano. I've got synths I can pump into the RC505 as well and layer up acoustically as well as this. And then I've got the deluge is synchronized with the RC505. Sorry, so that I can layer up, a little bit of percussion. And I can see myself going definitely down the ambient techno, ambient melodic techno route eventually. At the moment, I'm focusing purely on the RC505 and the chamber orchestra looping, just because there's so many workflow directions doing this. I'm getting there. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi, give a bit of explanation as to who I am. My brain is frozen. I can't say any more. So, thank you for getting to this far. And I hope to create a lot more music soon. Cheers.